We're going to move on. We have the city traffic engineer report.
I just wanted to point out on my city traffic engineer report that you have a copy of. There's this local roadway safety program. What that is we are getting a grant funding for this program. And I'm not sure if you recall, we've mentioned the need for us to collect and to utilize data in making our decisions. And I think some of this data will reside in this local roadway safety program. And so once this project gets going, we'll bring it to our Traffic and Mobility Commission to get your input. But it should have things like an analysis of traffic collision data on a regular basis so that we can be a little bit more proactive in implementing safety features on our roadway. So I just wanted our Traffic and Mobility Commission to be aware of this project. We just got approved for the grant funding and we're developing a scope of work that will be utilizing a consultant. And once that gets going again, we'll be bringing it to the Traffic and Mobility Commission. But other than that, I don't have anything other to add. Nathan, do you have anything from your side of things?
Yeah, I do. I have a few quick updates. First, on the Sustainable Mobility Plan. So we, of course, have been working with the ad hoc group from the Traffic and Mobility Commission in refining that plan. We are now ready to release it to the public for a public review. So keep your eyes out. On November 4th, we will be releasing the document for review. We'll be looking to advertise this through our city's various social media sources. Along with that, we will be posting a public feedback survey on the city's website. And then there'll also be some good summary documents. There'll be a little video with kind of an animation about the SMP in itself. So look for that. The feedback period will end on November 18th. And then the other point is just in regards to the multimodal level of service ad hoc committee. We're currently finalizing a contract with the consultant to work on the update. And we will look to hold a first kind of kickoff meeting with our ad hoc group sometime this month, likely within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So I will be contacting the members of the ad hoc group to set that meeting up. And that's it for me.
Okay. Any other? Okay, do we have any commissioner comments? Okay, Commissioner Pensier.
Have we already chosen the consultant to help with that local safety roadway program?
No, we have not.
Okay.
We're developing the scope of work right now.
Okay. And is that something that we can have some input on?
What, choosing the consultant?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think that'll be something that's going to be governed by the funding process. Caltrans has a fairly strict methodology and requirements in the selection of a consultant that we'll be following. If there's opportunity, I can look into it, but I'm fairly certain that it doesn't involve bringing it to a commission for the selection of a consultant.
Yeah, and if I might join in, that's a relatively small grant study. It's like $80,000. So we're trying to work as efficiently as possible to collect that data and move forward with it. The study itself will definitely be going before the commission, the results of it. But I'm not sure if other commissioners want to join in on if they feel the need to have a conversation on the selection of the consultant. I mirrored Mr. Kim's comments on the subject.
Okay.
That's beyond our scope, I believe.
All right. Yeah, actually, I shouldn't have asked it that way. The scope of work is something I'm a little more interested in because how you determine when you're looking at crash data, I think it's important to consider, for example, on bicycle crashes, roughly 40% of the crashes that are reported to SWITers are solo falls and have nothing to do with the car. So one of the first things that should be done is to filter those out and simply look at the car bike crashes, which are the ones that you can do something about with training, infrastructure, whatever you have some impact on. So, and then it turns out that Switters isn't a very good way to look at root causes. And it's helpful to also look at where these things occurred and use, for example, Google Earth to help you determine what the actual cause of the crash was. Because if you just look at that and just put dots on the map, it's very misleading.
Yes, Commissioner Pensius, I know you've shared some of your past suggestions with us staff in the past, and I think you have great suggestions on the subject. What I might suggest is that you, if you feel like you wanted to memorialize it more, or just have a sidebar conversation with Nathan and John and myself, and then we can get your input and make sure that we can incorporate that where we can into that effort. Because you definitely have some good thoughts on the subject, and we want to get the best data we can out of that effort.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other comments? I do want to thank staff sincerely for your collaboration. It warms my heart, the relationship we have these days, compared to what we had, Commissioner Hunter, a year, 2 years ago. We went through a tough time. So I really want to thank you all. And if nobody else has any comments, no, I don't see any hands up, we can adjourn the meeting. Okay, Mr. Kim?
We did receive a letter from Commissioner Wanamaker, I believe. Did you want us to read that?
I could put it in a different format, but if you would, it's really in the format it's in, excuse me, is a bunch of bullet points. Concerns the safety of drivers, pedestrians, and bicyclists on the stretch of Jefferson Street between Marone Road and Las Flores. Very unsafe situation has been in effect for a long time, and that is the overgrowth along the boundaries of the road of the willows and other habitat. It cuts down the view plane and sight plane for motorists who have to share a very narrow road with 2 bike lanes, one on either side, no shoulders. Those bike lanes are used by pedestrians as well as bikes. And the speed limits are not adhered to usually. They're in excess of 45 miles an hour, especially going south to get up the hill. And we're seeing more and more usage of that roadway as people choose to get around the intersection of I-5 and 78 by taking that cutoff. And so I'd like the commissioners to consider asking the entities involved, which would be State Fish and Wildlife and also the city of Carlsbad, to find some way to take down some of those willows and increase the view and sight ability of motorists, especially on the curved road. It would make it safer for pedestrians and bicyclists, and of course, motorists. Thank you.
Okay. So is this something that the staff can look into, the safety?
Yes. I wanted to acknowledge receipt of that message. I have it in written form. So staff will be looking into getting some trimming done, contacting the appropriate agencies if it's not the city of Carlsbad. So we'll follow up with that and get back to Commissioner Wanamaker and the other commissioners once we've established a plan of action.
Thank you.
And this is exactly what we used to do as commissioners during commissioner comments. This is where is our time. If you have any residents or anybody or you experience or drive on the road and you see something that it's unsafe, this is our time to bring it to the staff's attention, and then they will look into it. You can, the small things that we see.
Yeah, and on that note, we always welcome feedback. So don't wait for a meeting. If you see something that you feel like we need to address, it always is to our benefit and to the community's benefit for us to get that feedback. So if it's related to traffic signals or anything you see out there, please pass it along, shoot us an email or call us or bring it up at one of these meetings.
Commissioner Linke?
Yeah, I want to agree with Mr. Frank there. I've contacted Mr. Kim and on several occasions, and we're just by email and relayed issues, and he and his staff have done a great job of being very responsive. So I appreciate that, and I will continue to do that whenever I see anything. Just send an email.
Commissioner Pensier?
Yeah, I agree with that. I thank Commissioner Wanamaker for bringing that up. I've walked on that. I've ridden on it. I've driven on it. It's exactly what you say, and it's I've never thought about it that way, but you're absolutely right. We need to increase sight distance around those curves, and the best way to do that is to take down some of the overgrowth and so on. And in fact, I have several times used the Carlsbad fix it thing to
At Your Service.
What do you call it?
It was called At Your Service app, which by
yeah.
the way was taken offline last week and effective today. There is a Carlsbad Connects app that will provide that kind of service.
Okay, great. Yeah, because I have used that when with massive amounts of glass in the bike lane for parts of the I've actually hit with my helmet parts of the overgrowth that actually comes down to that level, and so especially after it rains. So yeah, it is an issue that we need to address. Thank you.
So that was actually a great advertisement. So we'll send out to the commission a link for that new app so that you have that available and can easily access it, and we get all the good feedback. So appreciate it. Thank you.
Commissioner Wanamaker, I think you want to make a comment? No? Okay. Okay, so anyone else wants to make a comment? Okay, with that, we're going to adjourn the meeting at 5:17 p.m. Thank you.